This is an urgent message right here. Every single golfer on the planet needs to do this drill. What is the drill? It's the one on the screen next to me right now. It is a basic step exercise. Now, why does every golfer on the planet need to do this? This teaches you the coordination that is fundamental to hit a golf shot. If you do not have this coordination, you are not going to be a good golfer. So regardless of your age, your gender, or your playing ability, you should be doing this drill at least 5 minutes every single day. And if you do it for 5 minutes every single day for 28 days and you do it correctly, I promise you, you are gonna lower your handicap. Now, before we jump into the video, please give it a like and the channel a subscribe. It allows me to produce more content to help you, the viewer at home. Now let me bring in my wonderful demo here, which is Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy is 5'9". He is the same height as myself. Yet he is one of the longest hitters out on tour. So clearly there is some magic in his golf swing. No, there's no magic. He just sequences it really, really well. So what do we see with Rory right here? We see when he takes this club back, he has a little pressure shift to start the swing. Every golfer on the planet needs to do that. After that, you will see as his arms start to swing up and roughly as he gets around this sort of waist high, maybe a little bit past it, you'll start to see his hips go back towards the target. What is he doing there? He is shifting back towards the target before he finishes his backswing. If you can throw a golf ball like this, guess what? You can do that. Now, what do you then see? Well, once he's done that, he gets a hell of a lot of pressure in his left leg, and then he can explode out of the ground and hit these beautiful shots. He's not squatting, that's a whole load of rubbish. He is just sequencing his body correctly. And if you can do that, you are going to play better golf. How do you learn how to do that? By doing a simple step drill. Now, the reason I want you to hit a towel rather than a golf ball is number one, there is no point doing rehearsal swings without any form of contact. Why? Our body is always going to react differently when it has to brace to hit something because it's a protective measure. Now, number two, a towel is a good weight. So if I hit a towel, it's still going to go down towards the target, but it's not going to fly a million miles. And also that therefore means I can still get into a nice follow through position. If you use something like an impact bag, it just stops the club dead, which is no good. It just does not help. Ultimately, it can cause a lot of injuries, especially forearm and wrist injuries. And if you just go straight into a golf ball, it can overload your brain. It's just too much too soon. So hitting a towel is a phenomenal way of increasing the speed of your learning. Now, how do we do this step drill? Well, there are 4 parts to it. And before we go into those 4 parts, we've got to set up in the correct position. So place the club head behind the towel like you're about to hit it. And if this is my normal stance width, I want you to take half the stance width. So basically your feet are just half the distance they usually are apart. Now, part 1 is a step to the right, a small step to the right, and you're keeping your club head there as you do it. So it's just a small step to the right. As you land, you'll feel more pressure in your right leg. Now, once and only once this has happened, you will then take the club back. This is part 2. Part 3 is as your hands pass belt buckle height, you're going to do a small step back to the left. And as you land with that left foot, you want to feel like you get a lot of pressure into that left foot as quickly as possible. As well as this, you want to feel like you land that left foot as quickly as possible so it is fully planted by the time you get to the top of your backswing. Now, part 4 is you're going to swing down, hit the towel, and get into a follow-through position where your arms are nice and wide and your hips are closer to the target than your chest. You can sort of see I've squeezed my hips under. I'm not forwards this way. So let me show you this in one fluid motion. So I will start here, I'll step, take the club back. As my hands pass belt buckle height, I'll step to the left, small step, plant it fully, swing all the way down, hit the towel, and they extend all the way through into this nice follow through position. Here's what it'll look like. Ready? And as you can see, that is forming the foundation of a phenomenal golf swing. Now, all I want you to do is if you could do that for 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, just do it with a towel. Do not worry about a golf ball. This is just the best way of starting to learn what it feels like. Video your swing, make sure you're doing it correctly. If you need me to check it or you need me to help you through this drill, you can get my help on the Skillist app. The link is down in the description. So give that part 1 a go. Now, once you've done that and you've given yourself enough time to digest the movements, now it's time to move on to part 2. Now, phase 2 is you've got to hit a golf ball doing it. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Same steps, same sequence, hit a golf ball. So let me hit a shot for you, then we'll play it back in slow motion. Here's the step variation. So if I play it back for you there, you can see I was able to start to sequence my body. Very much like throwing a ball. You can see little pressure shift to start. I then took the club back. I started to shift before I finished my backswing. And then I went all the way through, extended my hips towards the target. And you can see that one drill there is tackling the whole swing. Now, once you've done that, that's phase 2. And I'm going through this at a fast pace, but take your time. Now, let's move on to phase 3. Now for phase 3, we have the towel back. Why? Because we are going to take it to the next level. And the way we're going to do this is now we are not going to step. So what I want you to now do is you need to now substitute the word step for press. And what I want you to imagine is as you set up for this towel, I want you to imagine that you have 2 gas pedals, one underneath your right foot, one underneath your left foot. Now, if you want to rev that gas up, all you've got to do is press down on the gas pedal. So rather than step, we're going to substitute the word for press. So what are we going to do? We are going to, number 1, press the gas pedal underneath the right foot. Then we're going to take the club back. Once the hands pass the belt line height, we're then going to press the gas as hard as we can underneath the left foot. That's going to get us moving to our left side. Again, we want to be moving to our left side before we finish the backswing. This is what gives us that beautiful hip rotation and that recentering movement. Now, once you've then done that, you then hit the towel and extend the hips towards the target. Here's what it should look like. And as you can see, when I hit that towel, I was able to do it with some momentum, with some force. And guess what? You are going to increase your club head speed if you do this. It is a phenomenal, phenomenal way of increasing your club head speed. And it feels like I'm doing it with hardly any energy. At the end of the day, I'm using momentum. I'm using my body weight. I'm using sequencing to my advantage. Exactly the same as if I wanted to throw a ball down the driving range. And finally, this brings us on to phase 4. What is phase 4? We've now brought the ball back in and we're going to do exactly the same thing as we did in phase 3. So set up to the ball normally, gas pedal underneath the right foot. Let's get that revving to start the swing. Then from there, take the club back, gas pedal underneath the left foot before we finish the backswing and all the way through. This is the crucial bit. Now, I tend to find most golfers struggle with the gas pedal underneath the left foot. They can get 1 and 2 pretty nice, but the key thing I'm going to tell you is you've got to psychologically push yourself to really get back into that left side nice and quickly, because a lot of golfers, they just take way too long. They get all the way to the top, they're stuck on their right side, and by which point it's too late. So you've got to really get used to getting into that left foot before you finish the backswing. It's like a rhythm, it's like a dance. So let me go nice and slow on just a little demo swing. So it's gas under the right foot, so push under the right, take it back, push under the left, hit, abbreviated follow through with the hips tucked under. Here's what it'll look like. Gas, take it back, gas, take it through. Ready? Now, as I do that, that was a phenomenal strike. I feel quicker doing this. Every time I do this drill, because I use this in my game, I always come out of it feeling more dynamic, more fluid, and faster. Now, the great thing is you can do this with your driver as well. Now, granted, the further up the bag you go, the harder this exercise becomes, but it's still worth doing. Let me show you the step variation with driver. So again, I'm going to set up normally, slightly narrower stance, and then exactly the same thing as with the irons. Now, once you've done that for phase 2, now let's do phase 4, where you're hitting a golf ball, but you got the gas pedal sensations. Press under the right, take it back, press under the left, swing all the way through. Now, immediately when I do that, I do feel faster. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and the channel a subscribe, and I hope to see you back here soon.